Humans are naturally relational beings. Humans need to live in relation with others in recognitions of an interconnectedness with others. It was this need that God saw when He created man. He said it is not good for a man to be alone. I will make him a companion. He created someone man can relate with. So when a person does not have someone to relate with, life does not seem complete. It feels like something is missing, and such a person will do all that is in their power to fill up that void that is in their heart. Mankind has been created by God for intimacy. Therefore, it is not surprising that most singles long for marital love. When this kind of love does not seem forthcoming, it causes an individual to worry and wonder if something is wrong with them. The anxiety heightens and leads to desperation when age seems not to be on their side, and they continuously experience failed relationships. Such a person might even begin to doubt God's love for them and begin to move away from God. You begin to question when you will get the love you deserve, but like all of our deepest longings and desires, has the potential to carry us to heights in God, and that is if we allow Him to be in charge of it. Trusting and waiting on God for a life partner for a long time can make a person's heart grow weary and lead to desperation, making them want to take their lives into their hands. You should guard your heart and not allow your longings and desire to take you to the place of desperation. Desperation only sets in when what you are seeking becomes more important to you than your love relationship with God. God clearly stated in His Word to seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and every other thing shall be added unto you. When you go contrary to what He has said, what you get is frustration. There is this picture that has been painted for a lot of singles over time, that they are not truly living life until they are in a relationship or get married. It gives singles the idea that their life is incomplete and are less loved by God. That is far from the truth. God sent His Son, Jesus, to give life in abundance to everyone that believes, whether married or single. Living a good life according to God is not dependent on your marital status. Everyone's heart pants after an abundant life, and so some think they get in their partner when they are married. But not so. God Himself is the abundant life we seek, not marriage or your life partner. As a child of God, you have this life inside of you. Yes, it is right there on your inside, in the spirit, in the soul, and it is given to you by God. It is the highest blessing any man can ever have on this side of heaven, having Jesus Himself. How often do you think the abundant life God promises is out there, somewhere in a man or woman you will marry someday, when Jesus is speaking out to you that the abundant life you are in search of is inside of you already, and it is who He is? Jesus is the abundance you need to fill up in the in-depth pang of your heart. God is greater than any hope, dream, or desire, including the desire to have a partner. Isn't it soothing to know that abundant life is not what about happens outside of you or your marital status? Because to a very large extent, you have little control over that. Do not doubt the love of God for you just because He has not given you the gift of marriage yet. He is working things out for you. You will get a love you never expected. Your most desperate times of emotional brokenness bring to the surface what you truly believe about God and yourself. If you are not convinced of God's love for you before a relationship crisis, you may negatively measure His love for you during and after much trouble. God's love for you is unending and unfailing. You need to be filled and content with His love. Accepting the love of God for you should have nothing to do with if you are married or single. When accept God's love, regardless of your marital status, will allow you to relax and rest in Him. Your life will take a new turn. When you are satisfied with God's love and you are filled with love, you will attract the right partner. God will give you the perfect partner for you, who will shower you with so much more love than you could ever imagine. You will become attractive to the right person. The Bible records that God can do super abundantly more than all that you dare ask or think, infinitely beyond your greatest prayers, hopes, or dreams, according to His power that is at work in you. God has the power to exceed your expectations, including your expectations of a partner. Does your past haunt you, and you do not look forward to a beautiful future? You might have lived your life recklessly and have done terrible things in the past, but that is not the end. Your past does not have the power to deny you access to an abundant life. You might have lost hope and not expect to have a beautiful love life, but God can give love you never expected. Let us take a look at the story of Ruth and Boaz. It will encourage you. Ruth was a young widow. After her husband's death, she chose to continue living with her former mother-in-law, Naomi, also widowed, who believed in the God of Israel. Ruth was a Moabite. She was a foreigner who did not follow the Hebrew God. Yet when she opted to remain Naomi's companion, she stated, "Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God." She swore allegiance to the lonely older woman, who was heartbroken over the total loss of her family. The two traveled from Moab to Naomi's home in Bethlehem, just as the harvest of barley was starting. The two women had no man to provide for them, but Ruth was enterprising, and she suggested she glean in the fields behind the barley harvesters. God had commanded that landowners leave anything harvesters didn't pick up, so the poor, the widowed, the foreigners, and the fatherless had a supply of food. Ruth just so happened to glean in a field owned by a man named Boaz, who was a relative of Naomi's dead husband. When Boaz came out to see how the harvesters fared, he noticed Ruth and asked about her. Learning that she was a hard worker, he pulled her aside and told her to glean alongside his servant girls, where she would be safe from possible molesters among the harvesters. That was extraordinary treatment. Ruth was stunned and asked why the man gave with such kindness. Boaz responded that he had heard of Ruth's devotion to Naomi, how she left her homeland to be a companion to her weary mother-in-law, and he admired her newfound faith in God of Israel. Boaz blessed Ruth, that she will be richly rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings she has come back to seek refuge. Boaz went on to feed and take care of her and Naomi. Long story short, Ruth touched the heart of a faithful follower of God. Boaz, who was wealthy and influential, married Ruth. Their union was a beautiful one. Their names are found in the genealogy of Jesus Christ. Ruth was an unbeliever and lost everything that she holds dear. She was not expecting to experience love ever again after she lost her husband. She just wanted to survive and take care of her mother-in-law, Naomi. But God, who works miracles, brought her contact with Boaz, who showered her with love beyond what she expected. There is also hope for you, regardless of how you have lived your life before. There is hope and a beautiful future in God. God will give you the love you never expected. He will give you a perfect partner. God's love for you is unconditional. It is not based on what you have done or what you haven't done. God loves you despite you. This love God has for you will make Him give you the most suitable partner. You are deserving of God's best. You will get a partner that will respect and honor you. You will feel loved in the arm of this person. You will be loved for who you are. You will get the love you never thought you deserve. All you need to do is to keep trusting God and rest in His love for you. Everything will work out in your favor. You'll be amazed when God finally settles you. You will testify to the goodness of God because He will give you a new song and fill your mouth with laughter. Do not lose faith in God. Trust Him, and in due time, you will rejoice.